Greetings, everyone. This is Kamishita from Kamishita's Corner, and I'm live again. I'm making soap. That's why I have on my goggles and my gloves. I'm making unscented oatmeal, milk, and honey soap. Just making soap and chit-chatting. Yep, that's me. All right, so I'm going to focus more on what I'm doing rather than me talking, but I would like to first say thank you for joining me. My name is Kamishita. This is Kamishita's Corner, and I'm making unscented oatmeal, milk, and honey soap. Now, right now, and I probably should have did this first, I'm mixing the lye. I'm going to give you a better view of what I'm doing and less of me. Okay, maybe I'll zoom that in some. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Greetings. So I am making soap. Yes, so this is not 1, 2, 3, breathe with me. This is me making unscented oatmeal, milk, and honey soap. And this that I'm doing right here, I am mixing the lye. This is soap made from scratch. So when you make soap from scratch, you actually have to use a product called sodium hydroxide. That's the scientific name. More commonly known as lye. Okay? And that's what this is. This is a lye mixed in water. Lye mixed in water, and when you're mixing lye and water, you have to make sure that you're using the right amount. Everything has to be weighed out, which I already did. I did that off of camera, and using the right equipment. So if you're making soap for the first time, make sure that I always suggest that before you make it for the first time that you do all of the reading, watch all kinds of videos, get as much knowledge as you possibly can first, and then take a class, just in case. Working with lye is not hard, but it is a caustic material, so you want to be careful. That's why I have on my gloves. And that's why I have on my goggles. Protect my skin, protect my eyes, all that good stuff. Okay, so, excuse me. So I'm focusing more on what I am doing. Trying to I got my light on, but I don't know if that's helping any. Is it? I can't tell. All right, so I'm going to move this over some. Maybe some more light will come through from the window. All right, so I have my lye mixed. And this is my oils. These are my oils. I have coconut oil in here. That's the white oil that you see. And this is going to be unscented, uncolored. I am adding ingredients. This is a soap that is good for all skin types. We're adding oatmeal. Oatmeal will give a slight exfoliating properties. And this is my oatmeal here. So we will be adding that. And I will be adding, excuse me. I will be adding some milk. And milk has wonderful properties that it will be adding. Excuse me. Oh boy, here I go. There you go. Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to me, Kamishita, at Kamishita's Corner. I am making soap from scratch. So this is an unscented soap, uncolored soap. Is very natural, good for all skin types, elder skin, young skin, like for babies. We have just added our oatmeal. this is dry milk. It's oatmeal milk and honey. And then we're going to add our honey. Now I'm adding this now because this is all unscented. This is all uncolored. And honey is a wonderful ingredient. It adds extra moisturizing benefits. Honey is its own natural antibacterial properties. Honey is also a humectant. Now, when you're making soap by yourself, it's already forms its own natural humectant known as glycerin that forms in the process of making honey. That's one of the byproducts that makes soap very moisturizing as well as cleansing. Well, the humectant doesn't make it cleansing, but soap in itself is cleansing, and the humectant that is produced, the glycerin that is produced when you're making your own soap from scratch, is very moisturizing. Okay, so I got all of the honey out of this, and now I got honey all over my gloves. Oh my goodness. Okay. Greetings, everyone. Good afternoon. If you're joining me just now, making soap. Yep. And if you would like to learn how to make soap as well, you can join my Patreon page. Greetings. Hey, Abanaya, Rosie, Pat, and Abdullah. Hey. Yes, it's your favorite teacher, Abdullah. But now, I'm not teaching. I'm just kind of demonstrating. But if you always wanted to learn how to make soap from scratch, all by yourself, I will be hosting a online beginner bubble bash soap making workshop. And normally my soap making workshops, you pay all at one time. You don't have to do that now. Well, you can join my Patreon. Go to my Patreon page that is in my link. The link is in the description above. And you can join my Patreon page. If you join at the $10 level or higher, you will get access to all of my DIYs. Not just some of them, and all of my other content as well. You will get access to all of my DIYs. And I didn't put the soap making class up there yet, but I'm going to add that to the list of the things that the $10 membership will get you. It will get you my upcoming Bubble Bash beginner soap making workshop. So I will teach you all the ins and outs of making soap by yourself, how to formulate your own recipe, how to stay safe while making soap, because when you make soap, you do have to use a caustic material called sodium hydroxide, commonly known as lye. And there are some do's and don'ts that you need to know when you're making soap. Soap is not dangerous, but it can be if you're being irresponsible and you're not using the proper equipment, you're not using the proper equipment in the right way, all that good stuff. And you don't want to make soap that's not good for your body. You want to make soap that is usable. It is possible to make soap improperly and have it burn your skin. But in my class, I will show you how to very easily and safely make soap, how to calculate your own recipe, how to mix lye water. That's this lye water right in here. I will teach you all the ins and outs of making soap safely and properly in your own home. You can come to the studio, Kamisha, this corner, or you can make it in your own home. And I will walk you through the process. It will be a live demonstration. So I will host it through Zoom, not Loom. I will host it through Zoom. It will be it'll be several classes. So it won't be all in one class, because one of the reasons why we're not going to do it all in one class is because we're going to do some preparation first. And then I'm going to give you an opportunity to get all the materials that you need. So we're not going to do it all at once. Once I see people who are registered, I will send a link to all of my Patreon family who are registered at the $10 level or higher. And if you want to take the class, you can't. If you don't want to take the class, you do not want to. You do not have to. But I will be videotaping it, and it will be on my it will be done live on Zoom. So the class will be done on Zoom. I will be taping it, and I will be putting those videos up on my Patreon page for all of my Patreons to have access to. But you have to join at the $10 level or more or higher. Okay, I'm going to now just kind of get my stick blender and zap this up a little bit just to make sure everything is incorporated well. Having a stick blender for making soap is not a necessity, but it does make making soap a little bit easier. Sure enough does. And faster. But you can use a stick blender. You don't have to. But you're going to see how it can be a lot quick. Oh, I need a napkin. Put that there. Okay. If you have any questions, do you make vegan soap? Yes. I was about to say, if you have any questions, please post them in the comments, and I will answer as much questions as I possibly can. This soap that I'm making right here is actually a vegan soap. I do not use any animal. Well, okay, let's back up. Some people might consider it vegan, some people might not, because I did put honey, and honey is a product that is made from an animal. So, in essence, no, it wouldn't really be considered vegan. But if I didn't put the honey in here, then this would be considered a vegan soap. But there are some vegans who don't mind using honey products. And there are some vegans who are very strict vegans who do mind. So actually, by true definition, this is not a vegan soap. But if I did not put the honey in here, then it would be a vegan soap. So thank you for that question. And if you have any questions, please post them in the comments. I'll be checking the comments to see if there are any questions. Now, there's no lye in here just yet. I'm just mixing up this to break up all of the oatmeal and to get everything mixed and incorporated well. Because when I added the milk and the oatmeal and the honey, it was kind of clumping together. So I just want to mix it up. But yes, I do make vegan soap, and I do sell vegan soap for those who just want to purchase quality handmade soap and don't want to make it themselves. Or maybe they want to purchase quality handmade soap and they do want to make it themselves. But I do have an Etsy shop where you can purchase all of my handmade soaps. And when I finish this video and upload it, I will put the link for my Etsy shop because I forgot to do it at the beginning. I will put the link in the comments below when I finish with this live. And if you have any other questions, please do send in your questions. I love questions. Okay, now this is the lye that I pre-mixed that I am going to add. Now, when you add lye, you want to make sure you don't splash it. You don't want to have any splashes on yourself because lye can burn. You don't want to, once you add the lye to the batter, you want to make sure that the batter doesn't get on your skin. Now, there's milk in this, so it's probably going to take some time to get to the stage of what's called, trace. Okay? And when you're making soap, you want to get your soap to a phase called trace before you put it in your mold. And what trace just means is just a... What's that noise? Oh, that's from out... Wow. There's a weird noise coming from outside. It sounded like it was in my house. I tell you, I'm by my window. And that was the weirdest sound. Oh, that scared me for a second. It was very interesting and weird. But I'm by my window and everything outside, just you hear it so prominently. It sounds like I'm outside sometimes. Anyway, any more questions? Any other questions? Okay, thank you all for watching. I'm Kamishita. This is Kamishita's Corner. Okay, so now I'm going to start to use my stick blender. Once again, you do not need a stick blender when you're making soap, but as you can see, as you're going to see, it really does help. It helps make the bringing your soap to trace process a lot faster. Because depending on what type of ingredients, it may take a good time if you're mixing by hand. If you're stirring and mixing by hand and agitating by hand, you can do that. You do not need a stick blender, but it can take a while. Anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes if you do it by hand, depending on what ingredients you add. And at what temperature. Now, if you see this going through color changes, that's because I put sugar in here. Honey has a sugar content, and sugar contents make your soap heat up, and it can, of course, change the color. Plus, there's milk. Of course, I use powdered milk. I didn't use wet milk. Because of these ingredients that I added, I'm going to have to mix this for a while before it actually gets to trace. So you're going to see a lot of mixing. So when I'm making this kind of soap, I definitely will not be trying to mix it by hand. But if I was just making regular soap without the honey and without the milk, then if I just had oatmeal, that you can mix by hand in maybe about 20 minutes, and it wouldn't take too long to come to trace. Making some more of this because I had a lot of orders, and my brother ordered some oatmeal milk and honey, and he's gonna get some of this batch and some of the last batch that I made. I don't know if you can see that. It's going through a lot of different color changes. Dark orange, and now it's a lighter orange. The sugars are going to make this soap go through a process called gelling. So when you add sugars to soap, it really helps with the bubbling to create lots of yummy lather, but it also... when it goes through its cooking phase, even though we're not going to cook it, it kind of cooks on its own. It makes it cook at a higher temperature. And that cooking phase is called sponification. Okay, so now you can see the texture of this. It's a little bit thicker. It's still thin, but it's a little thicker. And if you look, you can see that you don't have the separation of the oils and the lye water. So when you're making soap, you definitely, you know that a soap has come to trace when it has fully emulsified, whereas if you let it sit for a little bit, the oil and the water will not separate back out. And that usually happens with a stick blender fairly soon. But if you're using ingredients like I did, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Now I want this to be a little bit of a thicker trace, so I'm going to blend it some more. But before I do, I'm going to run really quickly and get an ingredient that I want to put on the top. So I'll be right back, but I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I wanted to be sure to add a little bit of, now this is for when it's finished, just to kind of give it a little decoration. Because it's oatmeal, milk, and honey soap, I wanted to add a little bit of oatmeal on top. Just to give it a nice look. And this is going to be unscented, so I'm not putting any fragrance. Although I do have a nice oatmeal, milk, and honey fragrance, this one is going to be unfragranced. So this will be really good for people with eczema, people who have sensitive skin, elder skin, young baby skin. See it's thickening up. I want to show you how thick it is now. See that? It's nice and thick. This is definitely at trace. Now trace just means like when you take a stick and you kind of do this, you can see the trace of the soap on the top. You can also kind of like write, you know, your name or lines or whatever in the soap. And it's emulsified to the point where it does not separate. So that's the stage where you can now begin to pour it in your mold. Now I'm just doing a little bit more blending. Don't necessarily have to, but I am agitating a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for a little bit again. So do we have any questions? I don't see any more questions. I guess you guys are just looking. So yes, at the top I have my Patreon page link. And if you're interested in learning how to make soap by yourself on your own during this quarantine time, I'm going to be giving an online class. It'll be done through Zoom. And the link for the class, I will be letting all of the Patreons who have registered at the $10 level or higher. You have to be registered at the $10 level or higher in order to take this class. Now, if you just want to take the class, you can order at the $10 level or higher for the class. And if you wish to continue with your membership and having access to, you know, all the videos that I'm going to be doing and some of the DIY videos that I'm going to be doing that, you know, you don't have to have a higher level membership to join. You can always tweak your membership. You can go in $10 level, and then when the class is finished, if you really just wanted, you know, $10 level for that class, you can always drop your membership level down to like the $3 level if you wish, and have access, or the $5 level if you wish, and have access to the other movies, the videos, and the other content. And anytime you see a class that you want, you can up your membership level and you can tweak it like that. So you can get the things that you want because it's a monthly membership. So it's $10 per month or $3 a month or $5 a month. It goes up into, I have levels, membership levels up into, I think, $150 a month. But each one gets different access to different things and different specials and gifts and thank yous and all that. So the last membership, Dinah. She was the last person who joined, and she watches the 1, 2, 3 sing with me because she has children. Dinah, thank you very much for becoming one of our latest Patreon family members. And okay, there we go. So I'm going to be pouring this into our mold. And then I'm going to decorate it. And I think I'm going to let it sit a little bit longer before I put any of the decoration. Because I want to give it a little bit of texture. And I don't think this is going to texture too well. Because it's still not that thick. Why am I doing this with a stick? When if I do this with my spatula, it'll get it much cleaner. There we go. See, you do it with the spatula, silicone. That's good. Get it much cleaner. So in that class, let me tell you what you're going to get in your class. You're going to learn all the safety regulations. Everything that you need to stay safe making soap. What you need, the equipment that you need to have. We're going to go over the equipment first. We're going to do safety first. I'm going to give you opportunity to get all of the equipment. And then we'll come back with how to formulate a good recipe for whatever you want, how to read a soap calculator, how to use a soap calculator, so that you can begin to now formulate recipes and know how much of what that you need. So that's going to be another one of the classes. It's going to be broken up into several classes, so you can give you opportunity to actually make it. And then the last class will be actually making the soap. And it's going to be live. So I'm giving you opportunity. I'm breaking it up like that to give people opportunity to get the stuff, or, you know, if they have to order anything in the mail. There's not a lot of equipment that you need, but you do need equipment. So if you need to order anything in the mail, the last class will be making the soap. So it gives you the opportunity to go get the materials. And all the materials will be given in the first class. And it gives you opportunity to go purchase them. If you have to order anything on mail, it gives it opportunity for it to come and get to you. And then the last class will be actually making the soap. We'll have everything that we need. We'll be doing that last live class. We'll be making soap together. Yay. And I'll be walking you through the process. So, yeah, so you have to be a member at the $10 level or higher. And I'm going to bang this down. This on the floor, and we just bang it on something hard so you know we don't break anything, just to allow for, because all that mixing and agitation causes a lot of bubbles, and you want those bubbles to come to the top so that when you finish, the soap is cured and it's hard, there's no little bubbles in the soap that we're touching. So this is, I'm going to wait and try to get this to be a little bit harder. Let me check and see if it's going to stay. I don't think this is going to stay. It's still kind of soft. I'm attempting to make a design, but I don't think this design is going to stay because it's still... yeah, it's still a little soft. I might make it sit for a little bit before I design it. And then I'm going to sprinkle the center with a little bit of, I have some oatmeal. I'm just going to sprinkle some on the top. But I will post some pictures of when I'm finished making it and designing the top. I will post some pictures. Okay, so last time, to make questions, this is your last chance to ask any questions that you may have. I don't see any more questions. Okay, this is it. I'm not going to put it on now because I'm going to let it sit for a little bit and get a little bit harder. And then I'm going to decorate the top. And then I'm going to decorate it with a little bit of the oatmeal and make it look really nice. And this is oatmeal milk and honey soap. Thank you guys for watching with me. Please check out my Patreon page. Remember to join at the $10 level if you're interested in taking my online class. Okay? This is Kamisha from Kamisha's Corner. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.